Take care of your lady, man.
Oh.
She needs a fucking man. She never left Minnesota. She's never once left Minnesota.
I
she
would
doesn't
like
know
Florida.
what's out there.
Oh, yeah.
I've lived in LA. I've lived in New York. You've never left Minnesota.
I would skip both.
Yeah,
of
but now
those.
at least
By all
I don't
means,
have to
Minnesota's
ask permission
nice
to
place.
leave the state I live in. But no, you can't. I'm going to scream this until the day I die, and I know I'm fighting a losing battle, but if you don't actively defend the shit that makes you mad, you're never going to get to say the issue you like. It's not going to work because they can just divide and conquer. First of all, I'm making fun of you because it entertains me. But, I mean, here we go. I mean, last call from this whole group nightmare. I don't want to do this anymore. So are we having tea time?
Yeah, we're having tea.
All right. All right. Get ready to watch the most cringeworthy 9 seconds of your entire life. Okay. This is from Real Media Player. Oh, he does not. He's not a steel toe guy. Because you have to get the internet. There's no getting the internet. They get to.
Who has to get the internet?
I got the internet going nuts.
A 1 hour extra podcast during the week about some topic.
Sure.
Or an interview. Book a guest. Do that for you guys next hour. I'm thinking
Next week.
Next week. Nick Rekieta, Sam Hyde. We'll run down a big one for you.
Okay.
And we'll do that. How about Ethan Ralph?
Ethan Ralph would be great.
He would yell at me harder. How about DSP? That's okay. Look, that's never gonna happen.
If you could get a DSP on here, I think everyone would cream.
Look, Phil is never gonna come on this show. This show is on his radar. He's mad at it. He hates it.
Sam Hyde would be good.
Sam Hyde would be fantastic. If we go over by 100 today, we'll do that. But 350 is the break-even goal. Thank you guys very much for already dropping a few bucks in. We do appreciate that. Ball Powder also says, no, you can read Kiwi Farms, laugh, and move on. That's my point exactly. You can't get too invested in it and become one of these guys who's just, I have to hate Mersh or I have to hate Ethan. Like, I don't even hate like Nick Fuentes or Ethan Ralph. I think they're people to be used for comedy.
Can you imagine being someone who reads Kiwi Farms?
And like getting invested in it? Yeah.
Sure. Or at all.
$15. Thank you, sir. So that means I got to book an interview for next week, and we got to bring a guest on for an extra stream for you guys.
All right.
That's very cool. We'll do that on, you know what? We'll do that on either Tuesday or Thursday of next week, depending on what. I say Nick Rekieta, Alex Stein, or Sam Hyde.
Okay.
And then we got to pick an attainable one in case those ones fall by the wayside. So you have that list somewhere, right?
Yeah, I've got a list.
All right. We got the list somewhere of someone we could get. All right. Schedule-wise, we couldn't do it last week. So I said, you know what? If you guys go $100 past, I will book a guest and we'll do an extra bonus stream next week. And they said, well, that sounds great. So the $100 came in and I started trying to book guests. And I had a list. Nick Rekieta, Sam Hyde, Opie, Beetlejuice, Artie Lang, just some people from our radio influence past. Unfortunately, my first option was Opie. I sent him a tweet, and I didn't even think I would get anything back from Opie. But he liked the tweet. He followed me on Twitter. I DM'd him, and the conversation was off. And
so far, so good.
As of Sunday morning, I'm sitting here going, oh, my God, we're going to have Opie on the show.
Sweet.
This will be a lot of fun. It's going to be its own half-hour interview segment. We'll post it independently, kind of like we did with those school board people. This will be a lot of fun. Well, Opie decided to go digging into steel toe history. So I'm just going to...
You take over InfoWars. You got to put your tinfoil hat on.
I'm just going to make fun of DSP and Ethan Klein and Ethan Ralph. And
that's your plan, huh?
Yeah, we're going to change it up.
All right.
Zen Rhino says, Aaron on track to be YouTube's third most famous legal mind behind Nick Rekieta and Mersh. Thank you very much. Another thing about this, You know what? Show derailed. I'm sorry. I
Yep.
apologize for that.
Lost it.
He's shit on YouTube all the time, Trident says. Yeah, and he will again. He will again. Just like he shit on Nick Rekieta and then was begging for his legal help yesterday.
Isn't that how it goes?
When I shit on someone, I've made an enemy for life, my friends.
That's
I-
very true.
I commit to it. You know? Just check on him.
It's fun.
It reaches out to new audiences, spreads the show. We get to make some jokes. It's a great time. But we're going to touch on a few of them tonight. But I have to break this news for you. Nick Rekieta has been nuked from YouTube.
What is a Nick Rekieta for those of us that don't know?
Nick Rekieta is a law guy on YouTube.
Okay.
He covered the Johnny Depp trial and got very famous. Well, he was famous before that, but he was he got a lot of notoriety for that. I think he's YouTube's like second highest super chat recipient.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and he was. They nuked his account. And apparently last week they nuked his Twitter account. So I don't know who it is, but somebody is going after, there's an organized movement against Nick Rekieta because as far as I know, Nick Rekieta he's a legit he's a lawyer for a shoot. He's got a law firm.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not on YouTube like, denying elections and making all kinds of crazy health claims like you can heal your cancer with crystals and shit. Like, he's just a guy talking shit on the internet. I don't
covering stuff. Maybe we can cheer him up at the game.
Maybe you know what? Maybe he can come on Steel Toe.
Okay.
Maybe contact Nick Rekieta tonight. Talk to him. See if he wants to come on Steel Toe tomorrow morning. We'll get this whole thing straightened out. I'll be like Ethan Klein.
What do you flag a lawyer for unless like he's the lawyer against you and you're losing to him or something? I don't understand the point.
I don't know the lore behind Nick Rekieta. I don't know who would mass flag him. I know he and Ethan Ralph have heat, but I wouldn't think Ralph's got that kind of stroke to mobilize that many people. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know.
I don't know. Birdman says likely the law YouTube channels, most of which are more socially soft. Oh, that's so weak. That's so weak.
We're trying it. As if he knows.
I've been 2 knuckles deep with my thumb inside her cavity.
We have no private life here.
I mean, never when she's awake, mind you. She doesn't know. I lube it up with applesauce. I'm a fucking weirdo. I'm not a grabbler, says free Nick Rekieta. I agree, brother. I hope whatever appeal there is that he wins it because I think that's bullshit that he got his channel taken away. I don't think that's a positive development in the world of online
It's
creation,
never.
if you will. Isn't fun. I don't like ripping on Steel Toe. They just kind of laugh at it.
I think we're pretty good at that too.
Right. So you don't be uptight about it. You don't be like there's a perfect way. If you don't like getting shit on, the best way to get shit on is to tell people you don't like getting shit on. I put that Nick Rekieta video up.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't do very well, but like to dislike ratio, I mean view-wise it didn't. Like to dislike it's in the high 80s, which is very good. But the people that didn't like it, I mean, just angry. You don't know shit about Nick Rekieta. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And I'm like, yeah, I believe I say that about 15 times in this clip.
Right, I believe.
That I'm just spitballing here. I'm just telling you my
opinion.
2 cents about his ban. And they're like, you don't understand the lore and the background of Nick Rekieta. I'm like, yeah, because that's not what I'm commenting on.
Because clearly you seem so happy that you are so in tune with that.
Right. It's like, dude, relax.
You overinvest in these things, you just get angry.
To the point where, and I think this happens when people get into politics a lot, is that, we talk about liberals doing this, but conservatives do it just as much, where you can agree with them on 90% of the issue, but they will be fixated on that 10%.
Yes.
Like I said in the Nick Rekieta thing, one of the things the people who did get mad at me got mad at me for was, even though I said, hey, man, if it was my platform, I would have never banned Nick, but I also wouldn't play this game with Keffels because she's fucking obnoxious and she goes after people and tries to get them canceled. So if I'm trying to have fun doing a show, I don't really want to fuck around with Keffels. And they're like, you don't understand what Keffels did. You're not. I'm like, dude, I just said I agree with you and he shouldn't be banned.
Yeah, what a weird
You're getting
thing.
mad at
we
me.
had a very middle of the road opinion, like, oh, I can see like both sides of this thing.
Like, yeah, because I don't want to waste my day.
No, and
Just here having fun.
When somebody says I like Game of Thrones, they're not talking about the books anyways, so calm the down.
What are you, bro.
Yeah, and it's like these people that lash out about like this Nick Rekieta thing and say you don't know enough or whatever. It's like as if Nick Rekieta gives a about you.
Right.
It's
Or
like,
me. He doesn't give a about me.
He doesn't care
either.
about any of us.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it. This guy's a real
I think it'll be really great once we get all the murderers out of the White House. Still the best interview ever.
Oh, well, that guy, look, I think he's got, I'm going to put it this way. I'm not a legal expert. I'm no Nick Rekieta. But I think that gentleman's got a tall hill to climb.
Call it apart.
The thing I always think about walloping someone with when I think about walloping someone with something, baseball. Always a baseball bat.
I think of a scoop shovel.
It's got grips. You can swing it. It's perfect. Shovel's good. There's nothing wrong with a shovel.
I used to shovel shit in a barn. It's a scoop shovel.
If I get like seeing red angry, I think rake with the pointy end.
A rake?
Yeah, like just
like a garden rake, so it's like solid.
Oh yeah, and just right through their face.
Makes
That's
sense.
if I'm really angry. In there. Got all of Carl's stuff. Okay. All right, so we got plenty for you, and it looks like, we'll end that poll right there. It looks like Elisa Jordana will go up today, and Carl will go up tomorrow. Did Nick tweet us back yet? Did we? I didn't tweet it, Nick. And he makes an appearance, and I mean, if you're April, you've got to feel honored. She was a little taken aback, you could tell, but you have to be honored. You're on a show, 1,500 people are watching at a time.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Brittany Venti, who's relatively well-known in conservative circles. You've got some other, you've got Nick Rekieta, who's one of the biggest YouTubers out there. And you've got Chrissy Mayr, who's no slouch herself. Who does Alex zero in on? Who does he recognize first right away? April from Steel Toe. He notices April from Steel Toe right away. And we'll talk to April about this tonight on the evening show. And she's probably sleeping right now because she had to stay up so late doing Simpcast. But April may also be doing tomorrow morning. And also Nick Rekieta was on the show with Alex and April and everybody else.
Yeah, I believe you'd mentioned that, but continue.
But Nick Rekieta from Minnesota as well, lives in Minnesota, agreed to do this show and agreed to do it in person. Nick Rekieta, very cool guy. There was a weird vibe between him and Alex Stein last night also. Like, Alex came in kind of hostile to Nick Rekieta, and then he asked Nick some odd question during the show. It was just a very... Like, Alex got in there, and he was just a house on fire. Like, he came in, and he was going to settle all the scores, and he was going to, I don't know. It's like you were watching a guy defend himself from something that wasn't coming at him, I think.
Yeah, okay. But I don't know, maybe, and I'm just spitball here, maybe it's just Alex and he sucks.
We're going to get this whole thing under control.
It's not Steel Toe he has a problem with, it's crutches. It's crutches.
Crutches. Bring me crutches. And Alex Stein. We'll figure this out. I always give Kevin this accent he doesn't have, too. Gray Idol says, once Alex left, Nick Rekieta started talking more. Nick always goes silent when Alex is on. Alex has some kind of problem with Nick Rekieta. I don't know what it is. I don't follow all these beefs. I got enough time following my own beefs. I don't know who else has beefs all over the place. Hell. Farron Balance says, new subscriber here from Simpcast last night with April. Great show. Oh, Farron, I stayed up way too late watching that shit. That was a good time. Ended up booking both Nick Rekieta and Alex Stein out of that. Because like I said, after he like blitzed April and April held her ground, I was like, look, Alex.
We can handle this guy.
Alex, I feel like your feelings are a little hurt here. You seem a little sensitive. Why don't you come on the show? We'll duke it out like Irish brothers. We'll settle this thing.
Yeah, because that'll go well.
Well, because...
You'll call him a big fat...
No, my problem is, like, I don't see people as people. I just see them as someone to make fun of. Like, I don't want them to laugh, ever. Now it's a challenge for me to make sure these people hate my guts. I really... by the end of this, if they come up and like me, I'm going to feel like we missed out on a happening. So we'll have him on Friday. That came out of the Simpcast deal. And then Nick Rekieta, really cool guy. Really awesome. I wrote to him during Simpcast, and I said, hey, come on the show. All these people on Simpcast, by the way, on the phones during the show. Like, they're typing away, and they're looking at the phone. And, like, I had to write to Nick Rekieta at one point. I go, I'm sorry. Me. Go back to doing your show. You're a guest right now. Get off your phone. So we're going to have Nick Rekieta on at some point. I think we're going to have him in the house, though. I think we're going to have Nick Rekieta come to the show, and then we'll go out after. Maybe the night before we go to DabbleCon, because I want to leave Thursday morning for DabbleCon. Maybe have Nick Rekieta on the show on a Wednesday evening show, and then maybe go out with Nick Rekieta after that. That would be kind of fun. Go hang out. Bring small town Nick Rekieta out to the big city of St. Cloud, huh? Ooh, little mouse in a big country mouse in a big city. Oh, it was a lot of fun watching April do that and get laughs and do well and find out she don't need me anymore. And then go out on her own and do. You know how much ground her and I can cover? I can go on all the scumbag podcasts. She can go on all the nice, good reputation shows, and Steel Toe covers it from both ends. April brings us all our above board decent people, and I bring the dredges and the scumbags. Can you see it? I mean, I don't see how this couldn't work out. Then I was on Misery Loves Company on Saturday, and that was a lot of fun. That was a great show. We went a couple of hours with Kevin and Bob and Adam, and that was just a great time. I'd love to do that show again. I'm in this to have fun. And I think a guy getting angry because he got made fun of is fun. I think a guy drinking all hours of the day and losing his mind, I'm not here to do that to people. I'm going to pull back the reins. Alex looks sensitive as bad look. I didn't know that him and Nick Rekieta had a problem. There was some really weird energy between Stein and Rekieta on that episode, and I'd like to talk to both of them about it.
Why? We're talking about Alex right now.
It's kind of fun.
That was a really big thing last night that happened.
It was a huge thing. We've been talking about it all morning and all evening.
I couldn't believe it. Not only did I get to meet and hopefully befriend Alex Stein last night, because I really do like the guy. I got to meet Nick Rekieta for the first time ever, which I love that guy too. And that guy turned out way cooler than I ever would have assumed. Like Nick's a really good guy. The conversating we did and stuff, he's so fun. He's so relaxed, chill, everything. Very smart man. Likes his whiskey. He pulled out a bottle of Angel's Envy, which I totally dug.
That's my favorite.
Apparently the guy lives like super close, so we could all be, getting together, but we don't.
But yeah, that was there was a weird. Alex got really girly gossipy for a little bit about some guy, and then Nick Rekieta's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And Alex is like, I know this from other people. It's like, guys, boys. He just wanted to go, boys. Break her up.
I think that was just a little bit of Alex trying to stir the shit a little, just because a lot of people on the show personally knew the people that he was talking about, in their personal lives. Yeah. To a point of staying over at these people's house and stuff. But
and then Alex is like, he's a dirty cheater. And
and
harassment.
I think that would be very funny. Our cameras can't just fall like that, so we're never gonna have an underwear slip per se. But
maybe
I'd like to think that would have been a funny bit.
1999 from Fred once again, 115 away. Thank you. All right, I'm getting some info here from some people. He was a voice actor. The Me Too stuff got him blacklisted. Nick Rekieta was his lawyer. Vic's whole life was ruined.
He's still doing stuff, though. He's still working.
I think they mean what he used to do is ruined. He can't do that shit anymore. You remember B Dabbler? The guy with the mask on? Yeah. I fucking love B Dabbler so much. He's so funny. Probably get killed on air doing that job.
What kind of lawyer is Nick Rekieta again? Because
there should have been a joke there. How did I choke on that one? I was going to say the gay one, but there's been too many gay jokes.
Can somebody look out for him?
Yeah, no, Nick Rekieta will be fine. It's just trans people who want to kill him. He gets in fights with the trans community.
Tiny bit.
From time to time. Tubby writes, he was a lawyer who provided for his client's needs. Yeah, in other words, a divorce lawyer who's going to get killed. That's
not good.
The better divorce lawyer you are, the more people want you dead.
Did you hate the opposing divorce lawyer? I don't know anything about it. And yours?
There was none.
Oh, really?
I settled. We came up with a settlement in mind.
You had a lawyer, though.
I sure did. That's why I didn't get as cleaned out as I could have been.
But they didn't have one.
Cheap as fuck. Unless I was I wouldn't pay for it.
That is, you would have had to pay for that?
If you go
Hold on. The man has to pay for both
Oh,
lawyers?
hey, guys.
That is fucked up.
Let's if you have the call-in number, please.
What?
If you've got a story, get in touch with me. I'll give you the call-in number.
That's fucked
and
up.
you can tell April some fun stories if you've got some good divorce stories. See? That's what you got to
Okay.
do. We're not going to take a restricted. Well, you got to have your name up there. You got to have your name and your number. You got to be transparent.
Honest.
Yes. Baldogagger 4000 says Nick Rekieta doesn't do family law. Nick doesn't even do normal law anymore. Oh, he's a full-time YouTube guy? Okay.
Somebody still look out for him.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. Tubby had a good one, and I lost it. Aaron being with April is not considered settling. It's upgrading. Right. No, absolutely,
you.
Tubby. I meant my divorce got settled. I didn't.
Vegas?
Las Vegas
Do
is
you
the
see-
worst place in the country. It's like, come on.
Here,
It's,
do you see what happens like when you're on a show like that and suddenly I've got Alex Stein personally yelling at me?
Yeah.
That kind of flies over my head where I'm just kind of think, no, what do I need to say to this guy to make him okay
You don't
for a
even. You
second?
haven't even. You didn't notice the Nick Rekieta heat.
I
either.
didn't notice that at all.
Yeah.
No.
The Department of Energy has fired a top nuclear waste official who happens to be non-binary, which, again, is not important. Would you say they've hired a top nuclear waste official who happens to be a man? Oh, it doesn't matter. They're a
No.
luggage thief.
Or like with a hetero person, oh, they happen to guys.
Yeah, they
Like,
happen to.
She happens to guys.
She
Like,
happens to take miles a.
It doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't matter.
He's been accused in a string of luggage theft. Sam Brinton is no longer a DOE employee. Oh,
I do. I just wanted to thank somebody quick. I don't know their name because I missed it, but there was a new sub in here, and they came over because of Simpcast, and I wanted to thank them for being here.
very, very cool. Was it very recent? I can go find it.
Yeah, it was
quick.
recent. It's a long message.
I can
Right
go
there.
find it. There we go. Julia says, new sub, saw April on Simpcast Sunday night because of Rekieta. I watched 45 minutes of your morning show during Simpcast instead of just Nick. Consider inviting both Nick and Lady Rackets, his wife. Oh, we are. I already talked to Nick, and he's going to be on the show. We're just going to get a date together, and we're going to have Nick on the show. And since he lives pretty close to us, we're going to probably go out with the guy afterwards. Hopefully.
Thank you for being here.
Maybe he can bring his broad and we can all go out together.
Ooh, a double date.
Fun times here.
With the Rekietas.
With the Rekieta family. There, let's take a look. Here, let's. Yeah, sure. They can come. Yeah, they can come on over anytime. Absolutely.
That's pretty cute, actually.
Just making sure she wasn't an uggo. Joking.
Aaron doesn't let most ugly people in this house.
No, I
apparently.
don't. I have to be the person in the home at all times. That's my rule.
Why is that?
He's saying that should not be worse than the actual action of the guy doing
agree
that.
with
So
that.
that's what bugs you is him doing that. Because if it didn't bug you, me saying it wouldn't bug you. So it does bug you, Dest.
One thing I noticed on Simpcast, and maybe I'm making something out of nothing. I'll just ask you straight away. Is there some kind of weird heat between you and Nick Rekieta? Because there was
I
some
don't know. It
awkwardness.
does feel like
Yeah.
that. It
Yeah.
does feel like there's something because I brought up that hedonism thing, and I didn't really want to be like, because I saw that tweet. Someone's like, "Oh, he's at hedonism," and I don't care. Go to hedonism. I would go to hedonism. I mean, I don't know. It sounds like it'd be a fun vacation. But I know that kind of threw him for a loop. But I don't know. There's some weird because Elijah got fired from the Blaze because Elijah was like on thin ice, told Glenn Beck he's gonna go to hell, then did something bad with
Jesus.
Whoa.
had extramarital stuff go on, got in a lot of trouble. But Nick and Elijah are tight.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I guess Elijah's mad that I didn't have his back more, but it's like, I'm not, first of all, what Elijah did, I'm sure you guys are familiar with, and what anybody else can look to, it's like, I'm not going to ever have your back doing something to, a woman, a friend of mine. So I don't know. I think in the divorce, and I was never that tight with Nick, but I know he's tight with Elijah. And so I think that's why. And at the same time, Nick and I, we've known each other for a long time. We've never done a stream. So I think I could mend the fence with Nick, but it's just kind of like with us. It's like that awkward, we've not really connected yet.
Well, when Nick lives relatively close to us, he's agreed to come on the show. Maybe when he's on the show, we'll zoom you in.
I'll call in.
Yeah.
We'll zoom in.
We'll settle the whole
Yeah.
thing.
I want to be friends with Nick. I got no beef with Nick. I'm just saying him and I have never had we need to do probably a long form interview together, and then we'll get to know each other a little better. But I
Okay.
think that's maybe why it is a little awkward at first. I know he is friends with Elijah, and Elijah and I obviously are not friendly any longer. So
No,
that's probably that little, you're like,
Doesn't seem
you're
like
like,
it.
what is that?
It's an
I think
awkward
that's
thing.
what It is. Yeah.
Blaze, if the Vikings play the Cowboys in the second round, apparently Alex is coming to the game with us. So it opened the door to go from Alex bitching about steel toe to us just hitting it off right away. So
This is a full-blown friendship that's blossoming.
Hell yeah. And Nick Rekieta, too. Now we're going to hang out with him, hopefully have him on.
Thank God, because who lives in Minnesota? Like,
Right.
really?
Cardiff.
They said
guys.
Cardiff does, yeah.
And the potato?
Yeah.
I thought he lives in Idaho because of his...
Yeah, I know. He's really crossing the streams of the gimmick.
He is.
Speaking of the gimmick, B Dabbler, what's going on, brother?
Hi, everybody. Happy birthday, April.
Thanks, buddy. Oh, my God. This is crazy.
I've been hitting you.
And now they're making fun of my truck.
No, they're trying to call you out for lying. They're saying that I hit you, and they're saying,
Oh,
no,
okay.
your truck has all-wheel drive. That shouldn't have been a problem.
It's going that deep, huh?
Yeah. Bumbaclow's already calling this the Ike and Tina of podcasts. See, it's not good.
Look, someday I'll ask for help.
Beat her with a phone book. A liver punch will make her cry and sleep. I like seeing blonde people cry. Aaron's fist was there. No way it was a mirror. Not the truck, the driver. Oh, man.
My head is hurting worse recalling the whole thing.
Like I said, I don't think it was a good idea to retell the story because they're not going to believe it anyway.
Well, should this ever happen? Like, this is the most awkward thing and makes me think it happens a lot, like domestic abuse does. You know when I have to go
domestic abuse, no, before you continue, domestic abuse is quite popular.
That's what I'm hearing.
As more and more women go into the workforce, it really goes from strength to strength.
I hear you. No, we're all bitches. No, and you know when I have to go in for those ultrasounds and stuff?
Sure.
They make you piss after one of them, and when you go in there, it's plastered all over the backside of the door. Like, if you need help and feel like you can't talk to anybody.
Deep in the Murdaugh trial, watch Gavel to Gavel, this show is better. See, I didn't follow that at all. I felt bad when I wasn't using stuff from that trial for the show, but I figured if I'm not going to jump in halfway through the thing or all the way through the thing and then try to cover it. I'll leave it to better people. I'm sure like Nick Rekieta killed it covering that. Rupert with $4.99 says, so Lemmy is cool. Huh. Who would have thunk? So it sounds good.
Corn diff is on the rise. Potato diff is on the decrease. Is that what I just heard?
No, Meltdown is on the decrease. I think the potatoes staying pretty steady and the corn is on the green arrow.
Okay.
I think that's where it's at. Tin Man Taylor said, studio. I think when it's remote like that, I think the timing's off. I don't think the show's as sharp. I don't think it's as good. I don't think it's as funny. It's making the best of a bad situation. But we'll do what we can. I'd like to get Nick Rekieta on the show for a Wednesday. A lot of good stuff prepared for Wednesdays. Ghislaine says, Johnny on Alex Stein was hilarious. I even think Alex would have laughed. I hate those cats. Hate them. And Mersh, I consider, what do you call it? What do you call that when you bomb a hospital and a bunch of civilians die, but you thought it was a military depot? Collateral damage. Mersh is collateral damage. Sad Boy says, Nick and Aaron would be effing great. 2 favorites on YouTube in one show. Well, I would love to have them. Mersh did call in when he was absolutely shit-faced once. And he did tell April and I that we looked like a couple people who swing at a golf course. So there you are. All right, guys, let's continue on. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Old Potato, I don't want the potato soiling his brand because he has to talk about news items.
Nobody likes a soiled potato.
Hutch Not Start. You guys are coming up with some fun ideas. Rich from Review Tech, that would be good.
Yes.
You know who we could get in studio is
Nick Rekieta.
Yeah, Rekieta.
Nick Rekieta.
Doing a show with Rekieta would be great. What?
Cardiff is local.
Get Cardiff's ass
Cardiff
down
is
here.
in Minnesotan as well.
Can we get the potato to...
Oh, my God.
We got options. Next Wednesday, I want to get Virgie on for a Wednesday. I want to get maybe Stevie Lou
Adonis Paul
on for Wednesday. Adonis Paul definitely is a guy I want on. And DSP. No, I'm just kidding. Wrestling Otaku, maybe.
Nick Rekieta.
Nick Rekieta's on that list, of course. I would like to have one Wednesday where each hour we have a new guy. Maybe Cardiff 1 hour, Otaku 1 hour, Corn Diff 1 hour.
That is
busy.
busy.
But then am I kind of stealing Opie's bit at that point?
I don't know.
Having the vegetables on. Well, I mean, look, if you're going to stream without talent, you should stream without pants. Why not?
We found out Nick Rekieta streams without pants sometimes.
I learn a lot of people.
No,
I learn a
wrong
lot
guy.
about people on the internet without
guy.
asking.
That was the wrong guy. It was actually that Vic Magana guy. Remember?
Yeah, I was going to say, are you
Sorry, Nick Rekieta.
try snitching on Nick Rekieta?
No. Or something like that.
Right, that was not my thoughts.
But you repeated it
Somebody
twice.
else said drunken backstabbing asshole. I don't. She's always been very nice to us. I was
great
just,
to me.
I was just pointing out that between the documentary not being released and the weird behavior on Nick Rekieta's show, and then like the oversharing on social media, I'm like, boy, she's kind of hit a bit of a rough patch here.
Hello.
And I may have said it in broadcaster lingo, which made it a little more colorful. But she DM'd me today. And she was
that's painful.
Yeah, she fair and balanced DM'd me, and she sent me a paragraph or so, and she was like, I got clips from people, and they said that you were shitting on me and said this and that about me, and I've always been really cool to you guys, and that really hurts, and it feels like a stab. I mean, I smoothed it over. I was like, hey, I'm really sorry about that. That's too bad that happened. But, yeah, it was just really jarring to get it. Oh, look, OBS crashed again. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that great?
Oh,
OBS.
it's not just Matt.
OBS going up and down all the time. That's thank you, Spectrum.
Thank you, God.
They don't need to be real quick. They don't need to be, but they're straight. They're good form. He's got that good mummy guard kind of defense.
Why do you do this?
Boom, big heavy hands. Sorry. Train Jeremy then. He lives near you, I think. Let's get Nick Rekieta on a boxing card. I'll train Nick. He's an hour and a half drive.
Cardiff.
We could get Cardiff in the ring.
Cardiff is here too.
James J. Weed says at least 52 seconds. Am I right? You know, our fans, as well as our detractors, they don't like to give me credit for that second fight. They only want to talk about the first one where I got my nose busted.
Because that's the one they're in on. They
Right.
would love to see you get your face bashed in.
The second one where I dropped the guy and worked him over the last 2 out of the 3 rounds, they don't want to talk about that one. They want to talk about the one where I took a good right hand to the nose in the first few seconds and go, I don't like this the rest of the fight.
You know what's funny too is like for your first fight, a bunch of listeners showed up.
I know. I wish they would have showed up.
A bunch of listeners showed up to watch. They all talked to me beforehand.
Watch me get my nose busted
My
in.
mom was there in support of her son-in-law, all excited.
Yeah.
And then Aaron's just bleeding in the ring, and they all kind of just huddle around me after, like, do we go talk to him? Do we tell him he did a good job?
How great would it be if they went to the second one?
I think they were all a little scared to go next time because you didn't really.
I was in my 20s. Never liked it. I've tried it time and time again after that. I've always preferred booze. Always. I've just never. Marijuana doesn't do it for me. It's too relaxed. Lip Ripper says Aaron was more Nick at night. You ready for this shit? You give me an episode of Sanford and Son any day over anything that was on Adult Swim. Except, you know what? When I was an adult, I watched some Adult Swim shit. $1 Million Extreme World Peace. I did watch that. And that was usually, I'd watch clips of it. So I wouldn't even watch that live. It would usually be on YouTube later. So, movie.
You can have yourself a little drinksy.
Well, I will say that yesterday was extremely boring for me. So I need to find a way to entertain myself.
Did you miss me?
I missed-
Aaron's bored when I'm not home.
I missed April, and I don't think we're going to have time for a lot of breakfast or anything like that.
Yes,
before
we are.
Oh, I thought she was taking off right away.
So basically, I raked for 8 hours yesterday. Now today is all
Me
about
too.
my dad and I taking.
No, wait. I did the same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you help the neighbors or something?
With what?
Raking?
Oh, raking. Oh. No, we did something totally different. Okay, go ahead.
Oh. No, today's all about like taking the trailer around, picking up the piles and taking it to the compost site. You see, and my dad needs to be off work to do that. So I've actually got a healthy chunk of time this morning.
I don't mean to insult you. Do you know the joke I was making? It's
Oh,
not
she
supposed to come into play.
It's like I would have trimmed it.
Right, she didn't
Yeah.
clip it that
If
day.
I would have known, I'd have given it a little snip.
Oh.
I would have done an OB.
Was there any thought of any kind of like legal representation for this or no?
I've reached out. I reached out to Nick Rekieta. I reached out to Robert Barnes just because I know them both personally. And like, I can't imagine this is at the top of anybody's to-do list
Right.
to look into. And I know nobody at American Airlines gives a f. So, and it's like, do I have time to sue somebody else right now? No.
You're busy.
Yeah, it's like, I That's just I mean, I could write another. Oh, that's why I brought up the Indian TV. She was like, "Oh, you should call them. You should write another complaint letter." And I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
I guess I could, but I know nothing will come of it.
You guys did complain publicly on Twitter, and they did reach back out to you, but did they like comp you guys anything for your troubles?
No.
Really?
No, the poor flight attendant who we were regaling with the story was like, oh God, that sucks, and just gave us a couple of free drinks. But that was it. And we were trying to explain to the woman sitting next to us the story. We're trying to win her over. We're offering to buy her Hennessy, and she just was sort of putting her head down.
Gingerly stroke his mustache. He will pass out.
If I pinch the middle part here and I start dozing off, it's very strange. D. Gulag says, it looks good in my opinion. Well, thank you, D. Gulag. That's very, very nice of you. Johnny 1.0 pointing out, this is your chance to get Nick Rekieta. Ooh, all right. Well, look, we've got a lot going on today. Alcada with $5 over on Rumble says, what is this seasoned assist? And where do I get one? Oh, no, a cease and desist, sir. You don't want to play with just covering a very specific thing. That's just, they've built their audience. They've got their group, and that's what they're playing to.
I was trying to say we have this really cool anniversary party coming up August 12th at Stoney's. It's going to be great. Cardiff Electric and Nick Rekieta are both in this state. Why haven't we...
I would love to have
invited them or let them know.
I would love to have.
I'd love to see them.
Both of them. Alex says Cardiff is sniping Chad lately. Yeah,
Oh, really?
I was talking to somebody about this. I won't say who. They'll get mad that I said I was texting with them. That the meat's kind of off the bone for Chad. I think their words were, "We've used the whole buffalo." And it's just kind of like there's nothing new anymore ever. It's
somebody this last weekend tried to say, "Oh, they tried to take me in some shit like, oh, April, Chad really went off the rails giving you life advice today and all this and that." I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, isn't that weird? It's like now with Chad, I think it's because he went so hard at first with like family stuff and kids and things like that.
Yeah, he kind of set the bar high. Buddy.
And then he proved to everyone that it's just bark. It's all bluster. He's full of shit. He lies. And so like they're like, oh, Chad said this. You're like,
more humane.
I can't explain.
You're cooking people until they poop.
Help Solve says, whoa, Rekieta went all the way to the Steel Toe morning show. That'll send a few more over. And that guy didn't follow that up. He said on Rumble, Rekieta went if Nick Rekieta said something about Steel Toe, that would be awesome. I would love it.
I haven't heard from him in so long.
But I don't, Help Solve didn't say anything back. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
You do look upset tonight. April's had a very long couple of days. She's getting everything ready for Gino and Keanu's arrival.
Well, that's not a problem, though.
That's what the big problem is. Then she broke some glass today in the kitchen, and that had her all flustered. So she's just she's going through it at the moment. She'll be okay. Mickey says, big Gino fan here. He was really excited about your birthday party on his show. Anniversary party, but that's fine. Holy shit, look at this. Look at the board even changed. We've got the Saturday, August 12th promo on our little whiteboard here. And then we've got the Chrissy Mayr, Lila Hart, Steel Toe, October 21st show on our whiteboard. Oh, shit. I didn't even notice that at first. Headlining. The link is in the chat to get to that show Saturday, October 21st at Partners Pub in Sartell. If you had a good time at the anniversary party, I would definitely get tickets to this. It's going to be a great time. And I also was told by Frank Pellegrino, Nick Rekieta will be there as well. Nick Rekieta is going to come down to Sartell for the night, hang out a little bit. We'll get his ass up on stage, I promise. Doors open at 7:30, show at 8:30. I will be there, Johnny, April, Chrissy Mayr, Lila Hart, Nick Rekieta. It's turning into a real star-studded event in Sartell, Saturday, October 21st. Get your tickets at eventbrite.com. Links are in the chat. There you go, Rumble. The links are there as well. I hope you guys come to that. Hobo Chili Recipe says, hey, Nick Rekieta got his channel back. I thought he got his channel back a while ago. Huh.
Yeah.
And with that Chrissy Mayr show, April and I have now finally landed on what we're doing for the VIPs for that, a drink voucher.
I think
for
that
VIPs.
sounds good.
Yeah, so we'll get in touch with Jason and knock that out. And if you come to that Chrissy Mayr show and hang out with us and have a great time and watch some great stand-up, and Nick Rekieta will be there as well, then if you're a VIP, you're still going to get something from us, even though it's technically not our comedy show. So I hope you come join us that night. And honestly, I hope you come join us like it's any other Steel Toe comedy show, because this one's going to be a killer time.
It'll be a banger.
It's going to be really fun. And if you liked Gino and Keanu, you're going to love Chrissy and Lila. And then, of course, as they call him, the kids call him in the streets, Nicky Rackets. I'm excited to meet that guy, man.
It's about time. I am kind of surprised we haven't done it sooner.
Yeah, he's a good dude, that Nick Rekieta. From what I've seen, he's a good dude.
I get it. That sucks.
April's had to do an extra day this week. I did ask Gino Bisconti if he wants to do Rumble Friday to give April a little break, because we got to take the kids school supply shopping tomorrow after the morning show. And then April has to sneak in that VIP order at
I did that when you were sleeping.
Oh, it's done already. So you're caught up to last night's VIP drawing. Bingo, we're good. $5 off your ticket, but like refunded at the door.
That's stupid. Just buy the drink.
Buy the drink. There you go.
I already have a couple that are like, we'll take a drink. We bought tickets.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, there's the link to the tickets. Chrissy Mayr and Lila Hart, as well as myself. Nick Rekieta's going to be there. Johnny's going to be there. April's going to be there. It's going to be really big, man. If you liked the anniversary party, this to me is every bit as big as the anniversary party with some of the names that are coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, Nick Rekieta. I'm excited to meet Nick
That's
Rekieta.
very exciting.
You got Chrissy. You got Lila. You've got, Chrissy, another one who very smartly got out of that streaming world of that kind of group
ironically,
of people.
I think she just basically came up with the name.
Yeah, and then said, I don't want
And then it's
anything to
like,
do with this fucking
Guys,
shit.
I didn't do that on purpose, and I think it's very funny that it stuck, but that's
Right.
not really for me.
But she's been doing unbelievable business lately. I mean, she's all over the country.
Hustling.
Absolutely, come check it out. Saturday, October 21st at Partners Pub in Sartell, featuring Lila Hart. Nick Rekieta we'll get Nick Rekieta's ass up on stage.
He'll go. Yeah.
If for no other reason, for all of you who are about to drive drunk, to ask legal questions of,
Please put the Nutella on the waffle.
it doesn't have to end this way.
Don't make me lose you.
By the way, before I get into that story or anything else, or knock out this last $50, I want to throw the link up to our show Saturday, October 21st. Chrissy Mayr and Lila Hart and Nick Rekieta will be in Sartell. It's a show we're putting on that we've booked to bring Chrissy here. If you're a VIP and you get tickets, let us know. We'll put you on the list. We're going to give everybody, every VIP who buys tickets, we're going to give them a drink voucher. First one's on us if you're a VIP. The Eventbrite link is right there in the chat. Get your tickets to see Chrissy, to see Lila, to see Nick Rekieta. Myself, Johnny, April will all be there. It'll be a great party, just like the anniversary show. Eventbrite link right there in the chat. Go ahead and pick up your tickets today. All right, couple of minutes, then we're going to rattle the offering plate and see if we can knock out that last $50. And hit like, hit share, hit subscribe. I'm going to open up these 8 o'clock hour stories here. And while you're doing that, also consider going to Eventbrite and picking up your tickets for Chrissy Mayr coming to Sartell, coming right here live. I will be there. Johnny will be there. Nick Rekieta will be there. Lila Hart will be performing as well. Chrissy Mayr at Partners Pub in Sartell, Saturday, October 21st. The tickets are available on Eventbrite. They are going strong. It's great to see so many people picking up their tickets for a show that's almost 2 months away. So pick them up at eventbrite.com and get your tickets to see Chrissy Mayr here in Sartell. Thank you very much, Rumble Rants and more. All count towards knocking it out tonight. Hey, thank you guys for getting your tickets to the Chrissy Mayr show coming up in late October. Those
Thank
are
you.
already selling very, very well. We really appreciate it. Lila Hart, Nick Rekieta, Chrissy Mayr at Partners Pub in Sartell. Go to eventbrite.com.
This guy.
Yeah, I'll be there. Johnny, April, everybody will be there. Go to eventbrite.com. Chrissy Mayr at Partners Pub in Sartell, of course. Red Fox Matt says, looks like a low blow to me. 180 away from knocking it out tonight. Thank you guys very much. Keep her going. Just keep knocking it down. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, YouTube, and Rumble. You guys very generous tonight. Off to a great start. So we got Chrissy, Lila Hart, and Nick Rekieta.
Yes.
Coming to that show on Saturday, October 21st. I'll be there. Johnny, April. It'll be...
all the big shoots.
Yeah, it'll be a great time.
I want to sucker Gino into flying up just to hang out and drink with us during the show.
I don't think you'll have to sucker him in. I think Keanu and Gino are going to end up living in Minnesota.
I hope so.
If they keep it up.
Can you imagine? You'd probably need a liver transplant at some point, but can you imagine if they lived here and we just got to hang out with them like all the time?
Today, we appreciate it. And of course, the second to the last day of the week, Rumble Friday, is tomorrow. Get your tickets for Chrissy Mayr. I feel like I don't even need to say it anymore. You guys have been scooping those up like crazy. It's about 2 months away yet. Chrissy Mayr, Lila Hart, Nick Rekieta, myself, Johnny K, and a bunch of others will be at Partners Pub in Sartell. There's the link in the chat. Eventbrite.com is where you can get your tickets. Chrissy Mayr featuring Lila Hart, Nick Rekieta, myself, and many others. Doors open at 7:30, show at 8:30. Saturday, October 21st at Partners Pub in Sartell. You're going to love it. Come out, hang out with us. I think there's going to be a streaming show afterward that Chrissy's going to be doing with all of us. 7:30 door open, 8:30 start, Partners Pub in Sartell. Chrissy Mayr and Lila Hart and many others. And those tickets are moving very, very well. So there you go. $sign Aaron Imholte on Cash App. Remind me to start a steel toe one. And we'll get that set up for you guys since you have been requesting it. All right. $200 away from today's goal, about 45 minutes away from rattling the cans and trying. Yeah, you keep lotioning those balls. Like, I don't know if I've got it in me, but we'll see. I know I can't go through that.
Just again. That's the way a war of attrition works. You got to make the other side pay for it.
Thank you. Matthew Q with $5 over on PayPal says, Aaron, ask Johnny about Nick Rekieta and Booty Goons. Thanks for the show, Q's man. What's up with Nick Rekieta and Booty Goons?
I did not know. People were talking. I don't remember how we even got on the subject, but Nick Rekieta was on Simpcast with Chrissy Mayr and God, I don't know, was that one of the ones with Keanu? I don't remember. There were like 2 or 3 other women on there with her, and they were talking to something about booty goons, and I didn't know what it was, but apparently it's a habit that happens in prison that Nick Rekieta explained, where if someone really wanted to punk you out, if they like punched you or whatever and knocked you out and you went down, what they would do is they would pretty much de-pants you and then spit into your butthole.
Kind of pokes his head out every once in a while. I guess Chrissy, Keanu, and Lila Hart, who, by the way, 2 of those 3 will be at Partners Pub Saturday, October 21st here in Sartell. Get your tickets. We're all going to be there. We're kind of booking it, opening it. Nick Rekieta is going to be there as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. Balls, Lemmy, anybody who has the link, if you could throw it in the chat, I'd really appreciate that. The Eventbrite link for the Chrissy show. But I guess they wwere hanging out with Perry, and Tom was on one of Perry's streams, and he kind of shit on Keanu's stand-up a little bit, which I think is unnecessary. I didn't, he said something like, oh, yeah, when Keanu was up there, I looked at my wife and said, oh, I can hear crickets. It's kind of shitty. Like, I know Keanu, Gino and Keanu and April and I are friends, and they're coming by in about a week and a half here, and we're going to go to the Vikings game, and I don't know. Anytime someone says that about, and they don't know them and they say that about your friends, you're kind of like, well, fuck you, buddy. But it's also kind of a weaselly thing that Tom does. My falling out with Tom, he didn't even communicate it to me. He didn't even come to me with it. He just was on Perry's stream and, that steel toe guy's a big meanie head. And he cried like a little bitch and tried to chat.
And I'm not trying to be like a crook. They'll watch no matter what.
You're being a businessman, for God's sake.
I'm not trying to pimp out my gal. She know what she doing, and I'm a big fan of
She know what she do, and she do what she do.
She know how she do.
By the way, speaking of pimping, I don't mean to pimp out the October 21st show with Chrissy Mayr, Lila Hart, and Nick Rekieta. Oh, it's pizza. You guys get to listen to two drunks eat on the air. Who doesn't love that?
Hero.
Oh, thank you, April. You sweet piece of ass. I'm going to spank you and call you mine. Chrissy Mayr, Lila Hart, Nick Rekieta, myself, Johnny, a bunch of other people are going to be here Saturday, October 21st. Get your tickets on eventbrite.com. The links are up in the chat. Up in the chat, yo. There you go. There's the links. Go on Eventbrite. Get your tickets. It's going to be a fun night. I think Chrissy wants to do a big stream with all of us afterwards. So absolutely get your tickets to that. Links in the chat and pinned to the top of the page. Chrissy Mayr, Saturday, October 21st. Tickets are going. I'm going to predict a sellout for that one. It's going to be at Partners Pub in Sartell, Saturday, October 21st. It'll be a lot of fun. We're just kind of becoming the Compound North Entertainment Group. We just kind of bring you guys all up
We
here.
love the crossover stuff. I said that to E-Rock. I'm like, yeah. I said that to the boss when I said Steel Toe Joe, but I'm like, Keanu, Chrissy Mayr was also there. You know, Chrissy Mayr, who will be here Saturday, October 21st with Lila Hart.
At Partners Pub in Sartell, Minnesota. Here's the link.
I'm working my ass off here.
Hey, guys, there's the link to tickets.
I need the invite back to Freeload. I mean, hang out 2 more days.
Come watch Chrissy and Lila Hart and Nick Rekieta Saturday, October 21st. I did. I missed a call from Charlie. You're right. Chrissy ticket links are up in the chat and pinned to the top of the page, also on Rumble. There you go. Yeah. So the Tom Brennan, Perry Caravello thing, to catch people up on it.
Whom?
Keanu is with Chrissy and Lila and a bunch of other Perry fans at Perry's house. Tom wanted them there. Keanu said that she knew something was amiss when Tom pulled out a cattle prod and said, I may have to shock Perry with this to get him under control.
Right?
Charlie's calling again.
You're trying to kill me. Say what you want. Say what you want about Charlie, but every time he calls now, I laugh as hard as I did all day, anytime this weekend. And I've been laughing. I don't know if you know this, been quite cheerful. I've been 2 things this weekend, cheerful and dead. You saw me Sunday. I was dead. But aside from that, been pretty cheerful.
Unlike that pit bull, this show is dead in the water. But I'm gaslighting the audience.
And why would I lie to them? I'm about to do a brilliant joke. Did anyone ever hear Dave Attell's album?
Charlie,
Gino,
go ahead.
you gotta relax. You're on a high right now. You've got this.
Frankie Nick Donald is the funniest name in the chat.
Keanu won't read that name.
God. Frankie McDonald has Canadian weather forecast. I get it.
Charlie, what are you running the chocolate factory or something? Go.
Home run, Jefferson.
Oh, look at the chipper. Look at the chipper coming out with those wide.
Yeah.
The chipper. Look at your lady folks serving you. It's like Little House on the Prairie.
That's right. Service us, ladies.
You've got mine.
My face.
Hey, Aaron, you've got your wife. Aaron, you've got your wife in the background serving you. You got the little subservient bitch, Aaron Gino. She's serving you. She's got her arms wrapped around you.
It's my fiance, dipshit. Try harder. Tell me about your.
She's not forever,
Charles.
What's that? Show him the ring. Show him the ring. This will break his heart.
Oh,
that was his grandmother's Holocaust ring.
It's a toe ring.
If you don't understand, and guys, again, if you don't understand what a loser is, did you hear him literally go, that's not your fiance? You lose.
.myshopify.com to get your steel toe coffee or April's Magic Bean coffee. That is crescentmountcoffee.myshopify.com. And one last thing. We are about a month away from Chrissy Mayr at Partners Pub with Lila Hart, Nick Rekieta, us, Johnny. Everyone's going to be there. It's going to be an awesome time. There's still some tickets left. Get them at eventbrite.com. That's eventbrite.com. Chrissy Mayr, Saturday, October 21st, Partners Pub in Sartell, Minnesota. Get those tickets at Eventbrite. All right, let's take a look at the results of this poll, Johnny. Shanti and I will be hosting the Anthony Kumia show tomorrow, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Central Time. Go to compoundmedia.com for more. April, thank you very much.
Thank you.
To the rest of you, make sure you go to Eventbrite. Get your tickets for Chrissy Mayr, Lila Hart, myself, Nick Rekieta, Johnny, and many more at Partners Pub in Sartell, Saturday, October 21st. That show is filling up, and you can still get your tickets on Eventbrite. Come on out, party with us, have a great time. It's going to be awesome. Eventbrite.com, Saturday, October 21st. Chrissy Mayr at Partners Pub in Sartell. We're putting that one on and bringing Chrissy out It should be a great time. Take it easy. We'll talk to you. Guys, let's open up these 7 o'clock hour stories. And while we do, somebody throw up the link.
Gross.
To the Chrissy Mayr show that we're doing here in a couple weeks. We are it's selling very well. We're gunning for a sellout on that one. Chrissy Mayr, Nick Rekieta, Lila Hart, and all of the Steel Toe people will be live at Partners Pub in Sartell. Come on out. I think you're going to be watching Nick Rekieta do stand-up for the first time. So that could be worth the price of admission alone. Go to eventbrite.com and search Chrissy Mayr, or go to the link that I'm sure is going to be up in the chat in just a minute. And go ahead and pick up your tickets. Join us on Saturday, October 21st, and let's have a great time at Partners Pub in Sartell. We had a clip get taken down, so I had to put the Sniper Wolf Jax Films clip up instead. Oh, my God. Just weird shit. Weird shit going on for today. We got the Chrissy show coming up on Saturday. Chrissy Mayr, Lila Hart, Nick Rekieta, myself. It's going to be very busy. Get your tickets on Eventbrite. There's less than 50 left. So we're very April and I are really starting to get excited, starting to put everything together for that. Just a real busy week. The number today is 2. And this Eric July was just convinced that he could apparently like hit people and cut them if they said bad things about him in a parking lot. So then I said, you know what? If I'm going to see this Rip-A-Verse Eric July thing, I'm going to see it through the eyes of my guys, my favorites, the people I go to tell me what's going on. Royce and Mersh, Revenge of the Sis. So I watched their clip on it from last week. I watched it and I went, this is insane. This is stupid. What? And I think it was Mersh who said it perfectly. This whole Rip-A-Verse thing could have been done. This whole Eric July thing could have been done if people would have said to this Eric July guy, hey, I think your comic books are shit. You don't know how to write. And he would have went, well, that's like your opinion, man. And we're done. That's it. Like every other stupid drama community on the... No, I wasn't being sarcastic. I really meant, hey, sorry you don't like the show. If you ever decide to come back, we'll be here. No, fuck you. So just take your lumps. But this Eric July guy goes and talks to... Oh, NF Caps is right. Nick Rekieta did not give him legal advice. That's a technical term. One of many legal perspectives Nick Rekieta gave him. And I'm just watching this Eric July guy talk to a lawyer on a stream. And this black comic book writer guy just goes, no, I can do this. And I'm like... I'm watching the Revenge of the Sis clip, and I'm going, fucker, he's a lawyer. He knows what he's talking about. And then Masterson is with the guy, and he's just, and I think Mersh said it best when he said, this all could have ended with him just going, I guess you think I suck then. No big deal. All right, moving on. Next comic book. But you guys are not dragging me into this in any way, shape, or form. Loaded Wrench says, I sent your application in already. You're a member now. Devil Pup says, stop talking about it and get yourself out of it. I'm trying. But you know me. I have to be like, whatever. What are you going to do? Hey, you're a subpar comic book writer. Don't strike your channel, you piece of shit. Whoa. Calm down, N-word. No, I would never. That would be a horribly inappropriate thing to say. Nick Rekieta says it all the time. No, I'm just kidding. I've never privately spoken to Nick outside of a couple of DMs one time. And those were just cock picks, so I don't think that's really a conversation per se. Thank you very much to Scarface with $4.99 says, don't mess with Eric July. He'll call you a white bread N. Maybe I'll call him Eric June or something.
Home run, Jefferson. Go to break.
He called Masterson a white N-word. You could have fun with this. No, I don't want to. Doc Brewski says July did call Rekieta a white bread ass ninja. Oh, God. Jeremy S. just writes, dragging you in. As long as this July guy doesn't say anything about us, I think I'm free and clear after I comment on it tonight. Sleep over this weekend. I don't believe Rekieta's sleeping over this weekend. Certainly, if everyone gets drunk at the show, I think he's out a bit from here. Certainly, if people get drunk at our show and need a somewhere to crash, that's fine. But no, Nick Rekieta and I do not have a sleepover planned. I don't believe. Loaded Wrench says, Eric July wants to box you, Aaron. Obo says, Eric says your fists have no value. CJ says, Chrissy probably has experience with July from Friday Night Tights. I'm curious about her perspective. I want to have Rekieta on Friday when Chrissy's here over on Rumble, and I want to ask him. I just want to be like, what the fuck is this? What did all of my audience turn me on to, and what the shit is everyone fighting about? That's like, remember we talked about the Sniper Wolf Jax Films thing this morning, and we were like, why don't you guys all just let this blow over? Like, just give this a couple of minutes, and it's gonna go away. I promise. All right, guys. Hobo Chili Recipe says, Eric says you're a foxy boxer. Well, god damn it. Doc, she gives less than a fuck about this whole Eric July thing. Which is why I'm not getting involved. All right, fine. Maybe I'll make a clip to capitalize it of this little rant here, and then I'm done. I'm not talking about it. We're done. Gurmy says Nick Rekieta is going to be there. Yes, I've only said this 9,000 times. Nick Rekieta is going to be there, and he's going to be performing. We're going to put his ass up on stage. Make him do 5-10 minutes. And I think Chrissy wants to do a streaming thing after, too. But you guys can obviously walk around and drink and walk around and do whatever you want during that. But yeah, get your tickets. I'll put the link in the chat right here. And you guys can come out and hang out. And yeah, if you're a Steel Toe VIP, let us know. And we'll put you on the, we'll give you a certificate for a free drink. Free drink. In the background. Jesus Christ. April's here, everybody. Get your headphones on and let's get moving. You are jumping on a moving train. And I have to tell you something. You better not dare think about getting involved with this Eric July Ripaverse thing, because we're not getting involved.
I'm afraid that Chrissy and Nick are going to make us be involved.
What?
Chrissy and Nick were both talking about it on Tax today. At length.
They can't get us involved. You know why?
I don't know why.
I'm not getting involved. I'm going to put up this one clip.
That does sound like you not getting involved.
Then I'm not getting involved.
Ever.
At all. I don't think so.
Ever.
Who cares if this black guy writes shitty comics and pretends to be libertarian? I'm not getting involved.
Is he black?
He is black. We didn't know that this morning. We just heard comic book guy and we just assumed white.
I'm against it.
And you know what's weird? Is he's a black guy writing comics, but he's the dorkiest guy in this whole thing. But I'm not getting involved.
What did he do? I'll be honest, I wasn't listening that hard.
He handled criticism of his comic book really, really poorly.
That's it?
And then people jumped on him for it. And he just didn't handle it well. That's all.
We got to grow up over some comic books.
But that's what I said this morning. I was like, this whole thing sounds like people just need to grow the fuck up.
Yeah, it's a...
Paul Polito says, I don't know, bro. I might believe you if you say I'm not getting involved 326 more times. You know what the title of my Ripaverse introduction video is going to be?
I bet it's not getting involved.
I'm not getting involved. That's what it's going to be called.
Oh, I believe you.
Pretty. Plus, you'd have
That's
to.
almost too.
Plus,
I
you'd
probably
have to
should
be
get involved.
Plus, you'd have to be married to a shitty comic book writer who can't handle criticism.
And I hear he's black.
And then you'd be involved. And guess what we're not
Too
doing?
involved.
And guess what we're not doing?
We're not getting involved.
Not getting involved. In fact, if we have Chrissy and Nick Rekieta on Friday, guess what I won't be doing?
Not getting involved.
Yeah, I won't be getting involved.
Are you like inviting Nick or what's going on here?
I should invite Nick.
New TV.
I think the kids say you got to go
don't
75
need a new
inches.
TV. I can think of 300 other things to buy first.
Baldogagger 4000 with $2 says, I also like incest inserted into my media. Well,
right?
see,
Isn't that just fun?
Yeah. I think
as long as it's not you.
Look, we're all adults. We're all adults.
I like to pretend they're not related.
Baldo also says if you have Nick Rekieta on, ask him about the Baldogagger. Okay.
I've heard of that before somewhere.
Well, you know what? Let's look him up. Let's look up the Baldogagger. You can, guys, you only get this shit here. Baldogagger. Everything you need to know about ball gags.
He was talking about this on a Simpcast I was on with him.
He was talking about Baldogaggers?
Yeah. Yeah, he totally was. It was such a long time ago, though. I don't remember what it was.
Fair enough.
It was one of those.
They had a bullet, and they kind of brought that into the
Did you like it?
I never.
Not on your butthole or
I didn't put a
anything?
bullet on my butthole. No, never.
I kind of want to get one now. See if you like it.
Baldogagger with $2 says, "Ask Nick about it. He may give you one." I don't want a ball. I don't.
Hot damn.
I don't want
Come
one.
on.
I'm okay.
He's afraid he's gonna like it.
I don't need to shove anything up my asshole ever.
What if we just tickle the lips?
No, absolutely not. Ugh. Hey, let's pick on a guy for a little bit because their show sucks or they don't do a show or they're not any good. Like, subscribe, share, the whole thing.